Hey everyone, summer's winding down, fall is heating up, and this is going to be a hot show. Sports Central coming up next. Stick around, everybody. Everybody, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. My co-host, to my right, to your left on your television viewing screen, Mr. Hank Longo.
Here we are again.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Good.
How are
I
you?
understand you just got back from the 3-event nationals, having a big time in...
Great nationals.
Where was it this year?
It was in Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
Just outside of Wichita, beautiful community, Mystic Lakes. Gorgeous, just fantastic.
New record in terms of participants?
Yep, had over 720 people at this year's national championships, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
like from 8 to
yeah,
88.
Yeah, it was just great. So they were long days. You know, you get announcing for 10, 12 hours a day. It kind of makes for a long day, but fun. Just great skiing, and they had a new America's Cup, which was like the U.S. Open revisited. With all the top skiers in the world, and it was just neat to see that. So,
well, fantastic. It's
It's
somebody
good.
to thank.
Yeah, and we want to thank the folks at Hall Communications for this sponsorship of the first segment of Sports Central, and this is going to start the fun.
Well, you know, Sports Central, speaking of Hall Communications, we have Sports Central, our radio show version of this, and that is every Thursday from 5 to 6 o'clock, 1430 AM, 96.7 FM. So make sure you check it out, everybody. It's a great show. In fact, you know, one time I think it's still ranked right up there in the top 5 in a 32-station market. So it's a great guest.
Great.
Yeah.
Great information.
Well, I mentioned earlier that summer's sort of winding down, sort of cooling down, if you will, but fall is heating up, and there's so much going on right here in Polk
great
County.
events, yeah.
We have some very special guests.
Again.
Always, you know, and you know, when we get a chance to visit with all these celebrities and, you know, people that know what they're talking about when it comes to sports,
Yeah.
sort of like you.
Sort of like me. Thank you. Thank you for
Well, we have
letting
Marianne, George, and Karen Moore from Joggin for the Noggin. And it's kind of associated with Polk State. It's
Yes.
held at the Polk State campus, I should say, in Lakeland, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Joggin for the Noggin is our 5K race, and we also have a 1-mile walk. It's presented by Regal Lakeland in partnership with Florida Blue, and it's Friday, October 19th on the Lakeland campus of Polk State College.
Yeah, and you can wear costumes.
Oh, yes.
Hank likes the costume part.
We were just
He's wearing
talking
this today.
You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming.
We've the participants have so much fun with the costumes. We've had a zombie bride and groom. One year we had all the Incredible family. We've had you know, ghosties, zombies,
Superheroes.
princesses. It's lots of fun to watch, and all age groups.
And so it has to be comical when you see all of these characters actually running towards the finish line or out there jogging around. It just isn't your typical 5K.
No, not at all. In fact, some people plan a year in advance for their costumes. They run one year and then they plan for the next. And this is actually our 7th year. So we have some people that have run it every single year.
And they kind of make the costumes so that they can run in them.
Sometimes.
Well, you know, speaking of that, you have a special event sponsored by Citizens Bank, Greg Littleton and the folks over there. But it's a 1-mile walk.
Yes,
so, I
correct.
mean, if you just want to dress up and
Walk and talk.
have a sarsaparilla, you know, on your way, you can do that, right?
And the whole purpose is it's for everybody. So it doesn't matter whether you are racing for many years or just starting out, or maybe you haven't started even racing. No matter what your health, you can come in and participate. It's for fun.
Well, it's for fun, but it also, there's a serious side to it because,
Yes.
you know, you're raising money for very worthy cause.
Yes, we're really proud of the event. It raises funds for scholarships and programs over at Lakeland, and this, with the community participation, it's a big help.
Last year we had almost 600 people, and
my gosh.
our ultimate goal is to have a scholarship for every student who needs one in order to achieve their dream of a college education, and this really helps us achieve that goal.
And how do you find the students that qualify for the scholarship? How does that work out?
Those are need-based.
Yes, and we have an application process that begins in February through March, and they are selected by a committee of scholarship that will read through it. Or we do have some emergency scholarship funds, and they can apply for that. So, two
Wow.
different ways.
And so, excuse me, for the scholarship, is it to go to like Polk State College, or is it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's designated for Polk State.
Yes, and we actually, several years ago, we started a bachelor's program, so you can actually get your 2-year degree, you can get your bachelor's degree. We also have great certificate programs as well.
My youngest son
Fantastic,
goes
yeah.
to Polk State. He's in the aviation program.
Oh, that's
awesome.
He
that's
just
a
was just
fantastic.
sworn into the Air Force, so he has 2 years to go, and then goes in as a second lieutenant. But he loves the program there. I mean,
That's
it's
great.
just fantastic. So I've got some of the smartest people I know went through Polk State. In fact, there's a guy that I used to ski with at Cypress Gardens. His name is Jimmy Casada. You remember Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
And he is a nuclear physicist. He's PhD, teaches at the Naval Academy. But he was a Polk State graduate.
Yes.
Rick Dantzler, another one,
Yes.
Polk State graduate. I
Yes.
mean, there's just
awesome.
I
on
went to
and
Polk
on.
State for my teaching through the.
Oh, that's the EPI
you?
program?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I used to teach there. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, taught macro and microeconomics
Wow.
as an adjunct.
Oh yeah, it's all kinds of fun to talk to.
Well, you need to run our race.
Yeah, let's talk about microeconomics for a little bit, Mark.
Let's not. No, it's a great school. It's affordable. I mean, but the quality of the education is really outstanding. And then, you know, particularly for people that, you know, want to stick around and work around house or in Winter Haven or Lakeland or whatever. I mean, it is a great opportunity. And if you want to transition after 2 years, you can do that. But the 4-year degree program is outstanding too. So
Yeah.
superb stuff. But anyway, so this is the 7th annual, right?
Yes.
Every year you guys seem to increase your numbers.
We do. We're very fortunate to have a supportive running community. And as Karen mentioned, we had so many people tell us that this was their first race ever last year, or that this was a fitness goal. They had decided to make a healthy change in their life, and they picked our race as the culmination of their healthy change. So,
Well, you know, and that whole healthy change, you know, I know someone that did the Couch to 5K, and it's a program that kind of transitioned you from a couch potato to, supposedly, I mean, maybe not a good phrase, but the fact of the matter is people that do want to get going, and this is a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
that's how I started, and once you get started with running, you can't stop. And now, you know, I do half marathons.
Well, if you
and
had,
10K.
if you
I don't
had
have any
knees
problem
might stop mine.
I never started.
I can get started. How long I can go is kind of hearing all the clicking and clunking going on in there and going, okay, this is feeling great.
I've been doing a little bit of that as well now in the mornings.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good
So
for
it's,
you.
you know, kind of a
I
good
get-
way to start your day and get
I
blood
ride my
moving.
bike and I skip rope in the morning. It's easier
In
to
fact, I was
skip
out
rope
today.
than it is to run for me.
Really? You still doing the jump rope, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Stairs too?
Mm-hmm.
Even with your knees and hips?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that detailed answer, Hank.
Yeah,
That was just-
I clunk along. That's all there is to it. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Kind of like that old jalopy going down the road, you know. But
Well-
I get from A to B.
Well, we got a couple of minutes left, but people want more information. And
Yes.
they want to get involved either as a volunteer or as a participant. How do they do that?
They can go to our website. It's foundation.polk.edu/joggin, and that has all the information. They can register. We also have sponsorships available, and all the information's there. We even have a coupon code right now, so they can get a little bit of a savings on the race.
Well, that's
You know,
a heck of a deal.
Before this is over, we gotta get. Can we zoom? Is this the right camera? We can zoom in on this. Am I going the right way with this, or the owl over there? Or anyhow, it's there.
One of us.
Oh,
to
right-
you.
right there.
Okay, here we go, Russell. And
We're working on it. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, you can.
So this is the neat little
You can lift it up. We
flyer
don't wanna
that they've
see
got.
you.
Yeah,
We have a
there you
different
go.
theme every year, and the ghost is our character theme this year.
Okay.
Fantastic.
It's going to be awesome. We
So
have a
I'm
great
sure we'll
after
see
party.
somebody running in a ghost outfit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Costume,
I'm sure.
I should say.
Now, is Tracy Porter going to be involved? Of course, she's.
Absolutely.
Is she?
Yes.
Or what's her married name? Now I can't ever remember.
White.
Tracy Porter White.
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't seen her around much. You must be keeping her at home these
We
days.
keep her very busy.
Well, that's a
Yes,
good
we
thing.
do.
She does a great job. But that foundation, you know, and even let's give a shout out to Bing Tyus and the group, because the foundation's really involved with the golf tournament.
Yes.
Yes.
As well. I mean, this isn't just a one and done event for you guys. You guys are involved in a lot of things throughout the county, you know, throughout the year. And the Polk State Golf Tournament at Lone Palm, that's a fun one. That is a good one. But it is a fundraiser, and everybody has a great time, just like Jogging for the Noggin. But there's other stuff too.
Clays for courts, and that helps with all of the the other ball teams, basketball.
That's out of Tenorock, right?
Correct.
We had it
I'll take that.
at,
It was
at Catfish Creek
Catfish last year.
last
Oh,
year.
it was?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Wow.
And then we have an event called Wise and Witty Women and Many Magnificent Men, and that's during Women's History Month, and we bring in a nationally known speaker that has a comedic side and a message too.
Oh, nice.
See, the foundation, and that's kind of where I was trying to go. It's just so involved in doing a lot of great things for the community, and it's one of the things that makes Polk County such a great place to live, work,
Yeah.
and play.
Yeah, exactly.
We also have Wine for Wisdom. That is a 5-course
right up
food and
your
wine.
alley.
No, I'm not a wine drinker. I'm a teetotaler.
our
okay.
goal is to help the students.
Okay.
We want to see them graduate. We want them to see them stay in Polk County and make the communities better.
So it is October 19th, which is a Friday.
Yes.
Let's get the website one more time.
Foundation.polk.edu/joggin.
There you go, everybody.
There you go.
Man, what a great job.
And
Thanks.
we'll promote this during, we'll
Yeah.
promote this between, during the show between
Well,
now
thank
and
you.
then too. So,
Great.
yeah, so keep making people aware of it.
Ladies, thanks so much for joining us. It's
Thank
always
you
a
much.
pleasure to have you up
Thank
there.
you.
You bet.
Thank you.
There you go. Jogging for the Noggin, everybody. Got to check that out. I've been there, not running in it.
Well, they've got the 1 mile walk and talking. You do great in that. You could talk
just figured I
micro, macro economics while you're walking for a
I
mile.
don't want to put people to sleep. But hey, everybody. We've got so much going on in the National Veteran Wheelchair Games. There was 19 different events. One of those events was right here in Polk County. And I really have to make sure I get this right, but the trap shooting portion of it was actually held out at the Imperial Trap and Gun Club, which is sort of just off of Wrecker Highway, and
Okay.
back in that area. Just a gorgeous place. But we've got some great footage from this event. Check it out. Mark and Hank, we'll be back right after this.
We have more than 650 veterans from all across the country, as well as Puerto Rico and Great Britain, who are here competing in the National Veterans Wheelchair Games. The games are co-presented by the Paralyzed Veterans of America and the Department of Veterans Affairs. And so they're going to be competing all week in 18 different events, as well as 2 exhibition events. This is really about the pinnacle of rehabilitation and recovery from injury. So every veteran that's here has sustained some sort of injury, whether that injury happened due to combat or illness, just however that occurred. These folks have gone through the recovery process, the rehabilitation process that started at their local VA and slowly progressed. And they got better, and they got stronger, and they got healthier, and they got more, confidence. And then that built, and we, helped them rebuild their bodies to the point where they can come out here and they can compete.
These games, as an athlete, it's a way to kind of unload and do other sports besides my main sport that I do. It's a lot of fun. It's great to come back. You see friends that you've made over the years. It's the largest gathering of other guys in wheelchairs that we can kid around with, joke around with, and have fun with.
All these folks are military service veterans. And so, they have that drive, that internal fortitude that it took to serve their country. And so, we want to make sure they still have that opportunity, that independence, what it took for them to join the service, the soldiers, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and Marines, and we're giving back so that they can, continue on and have a fruitful and fulfilling life. Is we like to be able to introduce, a large population of wheelchair athletes, wheelchair veterans that, we want to introduce them to the latest and the greatest, the newest technology. And we want this to be, that sort of that ground where they can come and they can experience that. We have the Green Light Hall here, which is being sponsored by Full Sail University, which is local here in Orlando. And they put on this whole adaptive experience, this whole virtual experience of adaptive technology for folks that are in wheelchairs. And so they can come, the veterans can come experience that, the newest technology.
Wheelchair rugby for me has been, it was my first love in wheelchair sports years ago. It was the sport I wanted to take to the highest level I possibly could. Age kind of got in the way a little bit. Kids at home got in the way a little bit, so I haven't been playing a whole lot, but it's great to come to these games and still be able to compete. This sport used to be called Murder Ball, was the original name, and as you watch it, you can see why. We get out there and we just murder each other. We try to hit as hard as we can. We try to get the ball. No matter what gets in our way, we're going after it. Yeah, wheelchair rugby is the only full contact wheelchair sport there is. We don't beat up our bodies, we beat up the chairs, but in turn some of it transfers to our bodies. And it's not the easiest sport to do. It's tough. It's a lot of speed, a lot of hitting, a lot of sweat, blood, tears. But a lot of fun.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Mark Jackson, Hank Longo. If you're just joining us, shame on you. Been a great show, had some great guests, Karen,
already.
and it just good stuff.
Yeah,
Marianne, George.
Karen, yeah, it's a great event, and just to See, the people that get involved and volunteer their time just for the good of the community and, you know, help kids get an education, really got to take your hat off.
Yeah, the same thing with the paralyzed veterans, you know, and all of that type of stuff. Obviously, the shooting portion was here in Polk County. You know, that was held in another venue, but 19 events, so it's a great
It's a
cause.
big deal. Real
You
big
know,
deal.
We've been real involved with a lot of that. Of course, Wounded Warriors, we do softball games.
Yeah.
You know, with the Tournament of Champions and all. These guys can play. Oh man, these guys are good. Anyway,
Hey,
we
we're
got
gonna
another
give a
special guest and a lot
shout
more
out.
info.
Well, first, want to shout out to our friends at Days Inn in Lakeland for sponsoring our second segment here on Sports Central.
Great sports partners. You know, a lot of teams staying up there, but. You know, the numbers, Hank, tourism and sports right now are through the roof.
Yeah,
you know,
just keep going up and up.
Well, it's been a bit of a shock. It's this fiscal year, which ends
The end of September.
end of September, up 28%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
We were up last year too. We continue to keep going up.
yeah, it was 14% or something last year. Yeah, it's been
Fantastic.
pretty-
So we're getting a lot of
amazing.
folks
Well,
coming
we've been
enjoying
blessed.
beautiful Central Florida's Polk County.
Yep, absolutely. Well, no stranger to this show because she was here last year.
And the year before.
And because this is the 5th year, right?
5th year
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the show, yes.
Anitra Goddard,
Yes, hi.
good to see you
It's
again.
always great to be here. I
Yeah.
love coming on.
Well, we have the Central Florida Throwdown
Throwdown.
CrossFit. Tell us
Yes.
about, you know, a lot of people just don't know what CrossFit is all about. So let's start out by, give us a definition of CrossFit, and then we'll get into the games just a little bit because competition's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. So I say there's kind of two facets to CrossFit. So you have CrossFit, the fitness regimen that, you know, your everyday person does just to stay in shape, to be more fit, and then you have CrossFit, the sport that's a little more on the it's very competitive. So basically someone got very, very smart and took all modalities of fitness, you know, plyometrics, strength training, gymnastics. They bundled it up in one package and put a name on it and called it CrossFit. So, and that's really what it is. It's all old-fashioned type training that your athletes did back in the day, kind of put all together, meshed to make you as well-rounded as possible.
So let's talk about some of the different types of training that they do to get involved in this.
Okay, so my favorite is Olympic weightlifting, so your clean and jerk and your snatch. That's my specialty. I coach a lot of that. So they integrate those movements into the regimen, as well as running, box jumps, pull-ups. Those are more of our gymnastics, the old-fashioned, the burpees.
What are wall balls?
Oh, they're absolutely horrible. It's a metabolic movement where you take a med ball, and the standard is, there's a standard across the board for everybody. So for females, you use a 14-pound ball for 15 and 20-pound ball for men. So you have to go into a full squat, and then you have to shoot this weighted ball up to, if you're a female, a 9-foot target and touch it with the ball. And then for men, you have to throw to a 10-foot target.
Well,
So you're
what's
going.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So you're going down in a squat.
Yes.
With this ball.
And there's standards, specific standards. So hip crease has to go
You have to
below
drop
the
a
knee
certain
crease.
level.
So you have to break
90.
parallel.
So,
Yes.
So you got to go
Wow.
90.
And then
okay.
you're coming up with the ball. in
Basically
your,
thrust up, drive through the floor. Like someone like
And
me,
shoot
I'm not
up
even
against
5
the
foot.
wall.
Right? This is a worse movement for
Now, are
me.
you
Every
jumping
time
or
I jump,
throwing?
my feet have to leave the floor in order for me to hit the target. It's the terrible for short people.
So how does one person do better than the other? I mean, is it
So we have 5 to 6 workouts over the course of the weekend that kind of touch on all. We want to find the fittest person in the area, right? So we program them to where we hit on all those. So we'll have a strength piece where this is going to kind of level the playing field for your big, strong guy. And then we're going to have some gymnastic pieces in there for your people with your shorter levers that aren't quite as heavy, that are more skilled with those movements. So we touch on all that. Then we're going to do, anaerobic. We want to test everything, and then, have the fittest person for each of our 17 divisions.
Now, an example of anaerobic.
So running, we want to see aerobic, anaerobic. So we were looking at, say, muscle endurance strength. So barbell cycling, things like that. So they're going to hold a heavy barbell and clean it like 20 times
the
as
combination?
fast as they can.
ana means without,
Yeah.
anaerobic.
So-
Anaerobic means without. But so, being a weightlifter myself, I know what a snatch is. What's a KB snatch?
Kettlebell snatch. That's what the
Kettlebell
kettlebell.
snatch, okay.
So that's single arms.
That's like old school.
Yeah. Love the kettlebells. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was up in Hank knows. He was announcing the 3-event nationals, and I was doing the Showski Nationals, and I flew into Madison, Wisconsin, and that's where the
CrossFit Games.
The CrossFit
I
Games.
worked it. I was there.
Oh, were you?
Yes, I was staff for them.
Oh man!
Wow.
Flights, yeah. I mean, it was packed.
Oh yeah.
And then coming back out.
It was beautiful. I loved Madison.
Yeah, Madison. Well, I did my undergraduate work there.
Okay.
And some graduate work, but it's a great school, great city.
Yeah, when you watch this, when it's national and on TV, these athletes that are involved in it are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just everything that they're doing is just.
It is very impressive. We have a wide range of athletes. Last year we had a Spirit of the Games award that went to a lady in our beginners division. Has only been doing CrossFit, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 months, but quite overweight. She's already lost 100 pounds and probably has another 80 to go, perhaps.
Oh my God.
But she came out there, she registered as a beginner, and she struggled with some of the movements, but her attitude and her drive to just push through it regardless.
That's awesome.
So, and then we have your elites that are there to win the money.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
what kind of money did they win?
Though, too.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
it's one of those things now. Does this event lead to like a state CrossFit Games, or is this a qualifier? How does that work?
No, it's just an individual competition for the area. All of these competitions outside of CrossFit, the headquarters is individually operated.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's
Now you've got people coming from all over to be in this, though.
Yeah. So really interesting fact about this event, my event, is that I was featured in a documentary about 5 years ago. It actually was shot at the first and second year of Central Florida Throwdown, and it was just distributed. It was released last year and distributed on Netflix, which has gained us a lot of interest and momentum for the event. So we have people coming. Right now we have 107 gyms represented in registration. The Florida, Georgia area covered. We've got people coming from Puerto Rico, Spain, and Baghdad because they've seen the event on Netflix and they were inspired by the documentary and they wanna come be a part of it.
What was the documentary about?
It was called Functional Fitness. So it's about CrossFit, and it's got people that do not do CrossFit where you're having a lot of different opinions about the sport. So I like that they take different perspectives of how people see it. So
Anitra, sort of a topic of discussion in recent years with CrossFit. There's people that say that it's the greatest thing on the planet, and then you have some of the detractors that say, well, there's a higher risk of injury. That's an awkward and a tough question. Is from a safety standpoint, I just don't see the safety risk there any more than any other physical activity or sport.
Oh, well, you're being coached at my facilities, so I've not had anybody.
Where's your facility,
injured.
by the way?
South Lakeland. Yeah, I coach at multiple gyms.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, we're coaching you for proper movement, and a seasoned coach knows what the athlete can handle and how to properly scale movement for them and weights for them. So we are very proactive against
They're being managed
injury.
and you're watching what they're doing, so you're not going to let somebody do a maneuver that they're not capable of, or they're not going to be lifting a weight that they're not capable of lifting.
I feel like, soccer is more dangerous than what we're coaching. You have more injuries that way than.
Yeah. Well, every sport has risk. I don't care what it is. You're never going to take the risk out of doing anything unless you're a couch potato and you don't do the couch to 5K or whatever it is. But, in your event, there's 6 divisions, right?
16.
16 divisions.
Yes. So we cater to the masters. We've got 40 plus, 50 plus individual male, female. We have teams, beginners, intermediate, scaled, RX, elites. So right now, as of today, this morning, we hit our 500th athlete registered. So
really?
Yeah, we have 500 athletes with a month to go. So we'll hit 600, and we're expecting about 6,000 people out this year.
6,000 people?
Yes, over the course of the weekend.
Give us the dates and where is it located?
Sun and Fun out of the Lakeland Airport. We're on the Sun and Fun side. This is our 5th year there. They've just revamped Hangaray, and it's gorgeous. So staff there's amazing. It's October 13th and 14th, and all day, every day for the whole weekend. You can come out and watch fitness.
Well,
You know, you say October 13th and 14th, and it's like summer's over.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
goodness.
that's going to be here in, you know, a blink of an eye. It's going to be, you know, October. I mean, it's September now.
the next 4 months, September, October, November, December, are the fastest months to me of the whole year. I mean, they just go by like that,
Yeah,
you know.
it's like, it's
But
amazing. Summer's over.
What about a
already.
website? Can people, you know, interested in either competing, they want to attend and watch what's going on?
Absolutely.
What's your website?
CFThrowdown.com. Very simple. So Central Florida Throwdown is CFThrowdown.com. We have volunteer opportunities. You do not have to be a huge fitness buff to get involved. We have tons of jobs. There's tons of moving parts to make this event happen. So
sure there is.
if you want to come, work for a couple hours, we'll feed you a nice hot meal. You get an event shirt and.
Well, it'll be interesting. The new Winter Haven Fieldhouse and Conference Center, it's 87,000 square feet. Okay, in Winter Haven, right at the Chain of Lakes ballpark there, and that's scheduled to be open at the end of October or the 1st of November of next year. But what a venue that would be, because you have elevated seating, you know, and you know, of course, you have the air conditioning and so on too. So that might be a thought.
Well, I'm getting ready to roll out another series that I'll be announcing just before the event, so I might have to talk to them about that.
Well, that's you can. There's a guy by the name of Mark Zimmerman that would just love to talk to you about
We'll
that.
have to make that connection.
We can help
We
you
can
with
make that happen. That's not a problem at all. Well, we really appreciate it, Anitra, and you know, we're looking forward to the event. I don't think I'm going to be around that weekend, but I know Hank is
I
going to
think
be.
if I am, like I've been wanting to get out to him, and I
Yeah.
was telling Anitra that for some reason every year I get something else or I'm out of town, but if I'm in town, I will come out and do a show on it.
Would love to have you
Definitely.
out.
Well,
I'd
thanks
love
again
to-
for joining
love
us. It
to
was a
be
blast.
a part of it.
Pleasure.
Well, everybody, we're not going to stop there. We have some great footage coming up next, so check it out. CrossFit Throwdown. A couple of years ago, Hank and Mark will be back right after this.
The events we have this weekend, we've got all these, we've got 16 different divisions of athletes of all calibers that are going to complete 4 different workouts over 3 days or 2 days, and plus a floater WOD, which they can just go over there. That generally is a feat of strength. So everyone's competing. We take the top 10 athletes from each division, and they move on to complete a final workout, and then that is how we determine Central Florida's fittest.
My second year here. I love the event. Central Florida Throwdown is centrally located. Last year was a little bit hotter, so thank you for making it a little cooler. And it's a great event. They're a great host, and the facility and the people were super nice to us. I was in the Army. Went to prep school for Annapolis and then ended up going in the Army. I was with the 82nd primarily. For the most part, I like to keep my training pretty consistent. Sometimes during these competitions, actually the training falls behind because you kind of cater towards these special events. But for me, no, I don't really do anything different. maybe a little bit more mobility based on the type of workout. Just as a saying in our gym, just better every day. Just coming to the gym every day with a great attitude, wanting to train, and just becoming better every day. I just went in 1 rep at a time and just prayed I finished, and fortunately I did.
I'm a native of Lakeland, so my father actually worked at this airport at the old Piper plant, so I grew up on this airport. I've been to every Sun and Fun for the last like 41 years. So when I found out that these hangars were available to have other events, and I was planning this event, it just seemed too perfect to not bring Central Florida Throwdown here. This event requires about 80 to 120 volunteers at any given point working at a time to make it happen. We've got 3 workouts going on right now. It requires judges, volunteers, staff. We've got a scoring company. We've got 4 runners. So there's many, many moving parts. And I'm so blessed to have so many people that come together as a community, the camaraderie that it takes to put something like this together. We've got over 500 athletes competing. There's probably, we project, about 4,500 spectators over the course of the weekend. And it just simply isn't possible without the generosity of all this awesome community coming together to make this possible. The Central Florida Throwdown has a phenomenal impact on Polk County. We have tracked, from this event, we have 91 different gyms represented from 28 counties in Florida and then 5 different states. So this is a regional event that brings people from all over the country, and we're very proud to be able to say that.
Well, welcome back, everybody. More excitement in studio. That's pretty cool. That CrossFit
fun.
Games and Anitra, boy, what a ball of fire she is.
Oh boy, and you know, these athletes that do this, you want to talk about getting in shape. You know, if you're going to go through the whole regimen and do all the different exercises for the competition, I mean, you know, these are some incredibly in shape athletes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Speaking of in shape athletes, that display that you did and Ray Lewis coming into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame last weekend, he's still in shape. I think he can still play football.
Oh yeah.
And he's something else.
Yeah, he definitely.
Well, Hilton Garden Inn.
Yeah,
Take the words right out of your mouth, didn't I?
You sure did. But hey, thanks a million for sponsoring our 3rd segment of Sports Central.
Well, this is kind of going to be the water ski segment, everybody. And when Hank and I have an opportunity to interview world champion water skiers, it's always a pleasure because it's something that we have been doing for
a lifetime.
It'll be 60 years this year.
Wow.
It's my 60th year. But speaking of 60 years, no, I can't speak of 60 years because they could be my grandkids.
Well, you could add them up together.
Yeah, whatever, my kids, I guess. But we have 2 world champions with us and national champions as well, been around for a long, long time. Nick Lyman and Jack Lyman, Jack Ledoux Lyman, originally from Portland. Did I get that correct, Jack?
Portland, Oregon.
Okay, well, they were members of the Sarasota Skieries that came out of Florida, representing the southern region, and just blew everybody away last year at the National Show Ski Championships. It was a phenomenal event, and they just put it on the edge. They won that. But they've also won some world championships, show ski championships. The next one, they're held every 2 years, is coming up in September. I think it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th, if I am correct on the dates. I better check my plane ticket because I'm going to be heading up there announcing it. But the fact of the matter is, it is a tough competition. We have Germany, we have China, Australia, Canada, Belgium, favorite skiers.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
except for the U.S.
amazing.
skiers are from Belgium. But, we got some great talent. Let's introduce them. Nick and Jack, good to see you again.
Good to be here, guys.
Yeah, in fact, I saw you last night.
That is true.
And then now I'll ask the next question.
Now, what are we doing?
Nick and I were having a sarsaparilla.
That's right.
Sarsaparilla.
Yeah.
You got to be getting excited. I mean, you're out of town here in just a couple of days to head up to Canada.
We are. We leave on Sunday morning. The team's going to be gathering in Wisconsin. We've got a few days of practice there. We don't spend a whole lot of time together as an entire group. This team is selected from around the country. So we've got the beginning of the week to practice together, and then from there we move up to Huntsville for the tournament, and that happens on the opening ceremonies are on the 7th, which is a Friday, and it goes through the weekend.
And that's Huntsville, Canada, which is about 2.5 hours north of Toronto.
That's right.
It's going to be a little bit chilly.
I hope so.
Too Florida folks.
Ready for a change.
Well, Nick, you're originally from up east, Massachusetts.
That's right.
And you came down here. You're a professional water skier, show director at Legoland. Long history. Both of you are members of the Sarasota Skieries, and you have the opportunity to ski on both salt and fresh water. We won't get into that whole dialogue or discussion. But the fact of the matter is, going up to Canada, it's going to be a new site. Never skied there before. How tough is that going to be?
We're really not sure what to expect. We're actually been told that the site is kind of similar to Cypress Gardens, where sometimes it can be smooth as butter and sometimes it can be super rough out there. So our team has been preparing for all kinds of conditions, and we've been training really hard to make sure it's a good tournament.
Well, Jack, you guys competed in the recent event here in Polk County, the Southern Regional Championships, and you guys won that as well. You competed in the individual and swivel, and Nick, you in freestyle jumping. Always a pleasure to watch you guys. You had a full summer this year, plus doing business and family, the whole deal.
We sure have. Seems that water skiing always keeps you busy. It's one tournament after the next. We're lucky enough in Florida that we can do this year round. When we're not skiing with our team and competing, we're doing it in our backyard. The Sarasota Skieries, as you mentioned that team, our season is down right now. That Southern Region circuit ends at about the end of June. But from there, we jump right back into training for this World Tournament coming up. So
let's talk about if you're not familiar with show skiing, if you're not, you can go to Lake Silver every third Saturday at 5 o'clock. They have a ski show that is everything that everybody will be doing at the World Championships, all the different acts. So when you're not with the team, what acts, let's start with you, Nick. What acts are you training on? What are you going to compete in as part of the team member?
In the World Tournament, I'll be
Tournament.
mostly competing in or participating in the team jumping, the freestyle jumping. We'll have a handful of guys out over the ramp doing probably some mind-blowing tricks. There's a lot of complication, a lot of technical difficulty out there. There's some hydrofoiling, sky ski acts. Will all be taking place in barefooting and pyramids.
And then Jack, you'll be
I'm probably
swivel skiing?
I'm more of a swivel specialist. I think I'm a show specialist, and we'll be doing some really big pyramids. I think that our sport has grown incredibly in the last several years, and due because of the World Tournament. Some of the swivel skiing has really pushed its boundaries in the last several years, and there's some incredible athletes that are coming up through the ranks.
Now explain for the folks that are unaware of swivel skiing, define that for them, because it's being a skier my whole life, I would have trouble on a swivel ski. And I mean it's just because you're standing on one ski, 1 foot in the binder, but the binder spins around. So I think it's fascinating that you can be on the ski with a binding that swivels around, just keeping your balance without the thing.
It's the world's smallest stage.
Yeah, twisting and turning on you. So I think the balance and coordination that it takes to perform on that's unbelievable.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that, sitting here with three of the world's most legendary freestyle jumpers and having a talk about swivel skiing is a treat in and of itself. But yeah, you stand on 1 foot and you try and spin around and you try and make it look pretty at the same time. So your form is really important, your technique, your balance, your toe point, your beautiful lines. You're not just doing the tricks, you're performing the tricks.
Jack, it's a lot like kind of a combination of dance and a lot of other artistic disciplines. I mean,
Ballet.
Ballet and all those types of things. That's an important component, isn't it? When judges are scoring you, either as an individual or as a team.
Yeah, actually, if you're familiar with figure skating at all, it's a similar format. So you're out there doing these incredibly athletic things, you're using your body and all of your strength, but you have to perform it. So you're putting on your sequins and you're telling a story. You've got a theme, you have to dance it. You need to try and show the beauty of it, not just the athleticism. So sometimes people think that it's really, really easy, and that's what our goal is, but I tell you what, it's not.
Well, you know, Nick, a little bit on the freestyle side. You know, you've been out there doing. You
can see it here on the video.
There's some wakeboarding there, and there's Nick right there.
Yeah,
wow.
That's some footage from one of the previous years of the Team USA and the show ski tournament. And for anybody that doesn't know about it, this tournament's fascinating because it's a small group. It's hand selected from a hand-picked all-star team from around the country. So we've got a tight-knit, a really high-end team, and we're going to be competing against the other best skiers from around the world. 6 countries competing, and it's a fun group.
Well, it's huge too. This is I can't remember if that flag I think was just sort of an opening, if you will, you know, for the tournament. It wasn't a part of anybody's show, but you know, show skiing, as Jack said, has come so far, you know, in the last few years. But back to the freestyle. You know, you guys are doing, you know, helicopters or 360-degree spins, front flips, gainers, one ski, you know, all of that stuff. And then you get into the difficult stuff, the more difficult stuff like Mobiuses and 720s and discombobulators and all of these, you know, crazy things. How long did it take you to learn that stuff?
Well, I think with most people, including myself, it's kind of a lifelong journey. Most of us start water skiing when we're very young. Some people, like myself, like the two of us, around 4 or 5 years old. The freestyling, it takes time. There's a steep progression, and I've been jumping now for probably close to 20 years. And still, you know, you find ways to improve every year, and the sport has grown so much that all these young kids coming up are pushing us and developing and making everybody better. So the sport still has a long way to go development-wise.
The thing that I find fascinating about freestyle jumping is that, you know, going from long distance jumping where you're just going far and there's a lot of technique in doing that, but the presence you have to have of where you are in the air when you're a freestyle jumper. You know, there's always that first time to do a new maneuver. And let's just talk about doing a gainer, you know, where you're going off the jump and you're actually going backwards and doing a backwards flip. Well, you've got to do that the first time, you know, and it's just doing it and getting over the fear of doing it. And then when you get into the more difficult maneuvers like doing a Mobius, I mean, you're flipping and spinning at the same time. I mean, just learning your awareness in the air has to be a little punishing at times until there's that learning curve that you need to get over as quick as you can.
Yep, the first attempts are terrifying, and everybody takes their fair share of beating before they learn how to do it. So,
and that one you got to remember too that the boat speed for freestyle is 35, max 35, just like in distance jumping for you. But you know, with that cut, because in freestyle you're scored, right, Nick, on distance, the height or amplitude is what they call it, the way you execute the maneuver. But you know, you're hitting that jump going probably 45 miles an hour by the time you're cutting for some of the stuff. It's punishing. Nick said it best. I mean, it'll knock your lights out. It just does.
It does.
Jack, you were, you know, real quick on some of these other, we just got a second or two left. Building these 5-tier pyramids. You guys have both been involved in 5-tier pyramids. First one ever done was done by Cypress Gardens, you know, pro team. But now, you know, a lot of these clubs are doing them too. How tough is that, and how long does it take a team to be able to build a pyramid like we saw a little bit earlier on the show?
I mean, honestly, the 5-tier is terrifying. There's really no other way to put it. When we did it in Sarasota, we were the first Southern team to have ever completed it, and to my knowledge, we were the first team to ever do it on saltwater. Our 5th-tier girl was 11 years old, and that really speaks to how much of a family sport that this is. We had brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, mom and dad, all over participating in this event to make it happen. And it really took our team months and months and months of work. And when you think about all of the different moving parts and components, we're asking young children to do some really, really
Difficult
tough stuff. And on the bottom in the middle where I was, the weight is, it's punishing. You know, we've got girls that are incredible fitness levels and they're in great shape, but no matter what, when you start stacking bodies on top of your spine, it gets pretty torturous.
Wow. And let me just throw in one thing here that I think is so important. You hit the nail on the head. And you see it in three-event skiing, you see it in show skiing and the other disciplines as well. But it is such a family sport. And you have so many people together that are just all families. You've got the mom and dad that are participating, you've got the kids that are participating, and I think that's the greatest asset of the sport of water skiing is that the whole family gets involved. And in show skiing, you know, it's all the dedication of getting the kids to practice, getting, you know, the parents helping with the costumes, and all the folks that are working behind the scenes that aren't out on the water skiing that are a part of the teamwork that make this all happen.
If you ask me, it's the greatest sport in the world because mom isn't dropping off the kids at soccer practice and getting her nails done. Everyone's showing up there together. So dad might be in the boat, mom might be pinning, kids are behind the boat. Sometimes, in some cases, the parents are out there with them, behind them. So this is an opportunity for whole families to compete in something that is a lifetime sport. There's always something new to learn, so you're always pushing yourself, and there's always an opportunity to do something behind the scenes and to participate with something as a family.
Well, that's a great way to end it too. You know, it is America's family sport and build that way, and for good reasons. Nick, Jack, thanks so much for joining us, and wow, best of luck in Huntsville, Ontario.
Yep,
Canada.
you'll be there.
We'll see you
I
there.
will be there as well, and if you'd like more information, you can go to USA Water Ski, and just Google USA Water Ski. It's the Olympic Committee's official governing body of the sport, and they'll send you on a link, and you can get more information on how you can watch it, because it will be televised/webcast internationally. So check that out, everybody. Again, thanks so much, Nick and Jack. We appreciate it. And
rooting for you.
we have another special, this is one of the favorite parts of the show, Paige Tynan. She's a member of the Florida Southern Equestrian Team. This is our up close and personal with another superstar athlete. Check it out, everybody. Hank and Mark will be back right after this.
Well, I've always been, interested in horses when I was a little girl, like most little girls are. They just love horses and everything. So I started riding when I was really young, and I had a bad fall, unfortunately, so I took a break for a few years. But then I got back into it when I came to college and wanted to start the team with these awesome girls. So that's when I really got hardcore into it. So freshman year when I came into school, Marjorie, Sophie, and I were all in the same hall. We all clicked because we liked horses and everything. So we decided that we wanted to create the team to have an outlet, to ride and make new friends who also like riding. And it wasn't an easy process at all, but it was definitely worth it. The athletic department has been absolutely wonderful to us and helping us start everything and being able to fund us. She has been amazing, absolutely amazing. We couldn't have done anything without her. She's talked to athletics with us, she's gotten us approved, she gets our funding, she does absolutely everything, and not to mention she's an amazing coach, and we've done a lot better than expected for a really new team. We're competing against like UF, UCF, all those big name schools, and we're really up there. It's not like we're just easy competition. At competition, it's kind of funny because we get to just pull names out of a hat. We don't ever get to sit on the horses even like before going in the ring. You just get on and go, and then you just compete. So what we have to do is we have to walk, trot, and canter, and jump sometimes if you're signed up to jump. So you go around courses and everything, and what you really are looking for is your position and how good you look and how good you make the horse look, and just making sure everything's relaxed and looking as good as it can. It's very important to have a good team dynamic to really be successful. My teammates, I absolutely love them. I'd do anything for them, and I love hanging out with them outside of the barn and outside of our equestrian activities. We really are a tight-knit group, which is amazing, and everybody's super sweet, everybody's super nice, and it's really great. The hardest thing, I guess, is just like training your body outside of riding as well. You gotta work out, you have to lift, you have to do core workout, and you have to run a lot because that gets your stamina up a lot so you can ride for longer. That's like basically the hardest part. Everything else is just a breeze. Oh my goodness, the relationship I have with Junior, he's absolutely wonderful. At first it wasn't easy. He didn't really like us training with him in the beginning just because he didn't want to work really. So there was a difficulty there, but now it's just, if I'm riding him, I can just hop on him, not even with any saddle or anything, and I'll just look up one way and he'll know where to go. Yeah, we really have a connection. I can't imagine college without it. I'm really glad we started the team. It's just an amazing experience. You know, you really get to, your mind gets clear when you're on the horse, which is amazing, and it's not only good for your mental health, but your physical health as well. It's just, I can't imagine life without it. Well, I'm an advertising and public relations major right now, so hopefully I'll be, working in that field. I really love public relations, and I want to continue with that and everything. And I'm building a barn up in Connecticut right now, so I will be continuing with horses and getting horses and hopefully eventually training as well.
Welcome back again, everyone. Sports Central, Mark Jackson along with Hank Longo. And Hank,
Fun show.
Three fantastic, well, actually 5 guests total, but 3 segments with some great guests.
And just so much fun. They just fly right by. And hey, we want to thank the Trophy Shop for all your support, our sponsor of our 4th segment. That's cut real short because we're having so much fun talking to everybody on the show, which we love to do. Flying Tigers.
Flying Tigers. You still can catch some games at Publix Field at Joker Marchand Stadium. And don't forget, my favorite night is Thirsty Thursday. They don't call it that anymore, but I do.
But you do.
But I can call it that. So half-price alcoholic beverages for those of you that imbibe, but if you're a teetotaler like Hank and I, then that isn't going to mean anything to you. But they've got $1 hot dogs on Monday, but Friday, August 31st, that is tonight, everybody. Palm Beach Cardinals at 6:30 p.m. Again tomorrow at 6 p.m. and it's Star Wars night. Bring the kids. You can get a chance.
It's great. It's a great
They give characters, the whole deal.
Yeah,
it is so much fun. And then Sunday, what's really cool? At 11 p.m. they're going to be playing, but they have a brunch before that. So check out the Tigers, LakelandFlyingTigers.com.
Yep.
Some great family opportunities there coming up. And Hank, speaking of opportunities, I think Polk County had a great opportunity. I saw the display that you created and made for Ray Lewis for his celebrating his induction into the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, but the one in Auburndale at the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex at the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame was phenomenal. You did a great job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to, be, asked to design and build this display, and it was just a great event to meet him. Hey, we are running out of here, so we want to thank Regal Palms, Holiday Inn, Winter Haven, Cleveland Heights Golf Club, Harry's Seafood, and Office Furniture Depot for all your support. Thanks a million. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and also our great producers here and directors at PGTV. We've got some real talent here in Polk County, and we're certainly appreciative of them and everything that they do and the hard work. Some of those videos, and some of those special segments that they put together are second to none.
They're just great. And they take a lot of time.
They're national broadcast caliber. They do a great job here, and it's always a pleasure working with them. Well, our next live show, Hank, September 14th. This show is going to re-air every other day, but go to polk-county.net and click on PGTV, and you can get the dates, the times, and all of that fun stuff. But wow, exciting fall coming up. You can also go to visitcentralflorida.org for all the tourism and sports information that you could ever want. This is Mark Jackson for Hank Longo. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks,
we'll
folks.
see you again next time.